we were talking about incentives and what it would look like to give incentives to members to get referrals. Is it good to have a long-standing referral program set up with incentives built in? Is it the kind of thing that you want to have, certain timeframes for different incentives to last? And what I definitely want to get into is what are some common pitfalls to avoid. I've definitely heard anecdotally how this can become a headache quickly. But a big reason why I wanted to have this topic is, one, we're heading into the new year where we tend to have a lot of people supposedly wanting to start their fitness regimen. And so we want to be the place that they're going to come to. I also hear a lot of affiliate owners, especially recently, saying how much they don't need CrossFit and they just need word of mouth. And that is their choice. But regardless, let's talk about how word of mouth can be capitalized, whether or not you have CrossFit on your door. That's a gym owner's choice. But I think a lot of people say that. And then if we really looked at, where people are coming from, it's not as much word of mouth as they thought. Someone made their own decision to finally check something out. It wasn't a push so much from the member. And if it had been, that time that it would have taken them to actually come into the gym or call you would have been much shorter. So I just wanted to, since it's a pretty small call, if everyone doesn't mind just kind of saying name of their gym and where they're located. I'm up in Northern California, in Pleasanton. And Zia, I'll start with you next.
Zia, and I am CrossFit Counterculture in San Diego.
Awesome. And Parker?
Ryan Parker, CrossFit Northgate. We're up in Northern California too.
And Angie, if you can come off mute.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm Angie. I'm at Soto CrossFit, Soto Fitness Mechanics in Seattle.
And Randy?
Hey everybody, Randy Lauer, 346 Grit CrossFit in Portland, Oregon.
Awesome. James?
James Cooper, Trial Built CrossFit, Vacaville, near Sacramento, California.
And Jennifer? I always forget how to do it on my phone. But you're Campbell, right? You're in Campbell in Northern California? Oh, she disappeared.
There we go. Sorry about that. Yeah. Can you guys hear me now?
Yes. Oh, no.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. I usually do these on my computer, but I'm trying to do stuff and multitask. Yes, I'm in Campbell, California. And it's CrossFit Campbell.
Awesome. And then Adam, I saw you just hopped on.
Hey, Adam Gelfand, CrossFit ATR in San Diego, California.
Right on. And then NL, if you're able to hop off, we're just saying affiliate name and location.
Affiliate name is Persistence Culture. And location, you said?
Yeah.
Ventura, California.
Right on. All right. So we got all West Coast representing. So I'm going to kind of pose a little bit of topics to touch on, but we can go in a lot of different directions wherever, if someone wants to ask a question or bring something up. I kind of wanted to start off with reminding, like, what is the goal when we're trying to either add these different programs or ask for referrals? And I think initially when I talk about this with affiliate owners, what is the goal? Oh, the goal is to increase membership. I want more members. And I would almost like take it another step back from that. Is the goal just more people in the door, or is the goal to increase revenue? And I don't think that has to be a bad word or bad thing to say, that the real goal would be to boost the revenue. And maybe for you, you're like, no, it's not, bottom barrel pricing. I just want bodies. That's fine. But for most of us, we want more members because we want to increase the revenue. So keeping that in mind, I think, is a helpful guiding tenet when it comes to the incentives, because we don't want discounts or what it may be to affect that goal, right? And that's one pitfall I've seen, where you're giving away more than you're getting because of that referral. So just being cautious of that. I personally am of the mindset that the idea of an incentive for a referral is much better than a discounted price. Certainly want to get away from your Black Friday sales, or we're hurting for cash, so we're going to lower the price of entry and new members get a huge discount for joining, because you're really lowering the price of your product. And it's a huge disservice to those that didn't have that to come in, because you're giving everyone the same experience in class. So keeping that in mind when we're thinking about this, I think, can be helpful, rather than just more bodies at any cost. What's the real goal? If anyone has anything on that to add, but my thought initially was to start with, how does one go about asking for referrals on a regular basis? How is that conversation going? Because it can feel, I think, uncomfortable. It can feel salesy. It can feel like your focus is on the wrong thing. When you're asking either in a class setting or telling your trainers to push it or putting it up on social. So I'm kind of curious for you guys, and anyone can hop in, but how is that done? So like, we'll get into the specifics of like time set for referral and incentive programs, but if it just ongoing, I like, my gym grows by word of mouth. How do you encourage that on a regular basis?
I was gonna jump in and just say that, and then you said that we'll talk about programs and incentive programs later, but we do scheduled friend weeks, and we're getting started to do do our New Year Bring a Friend Week in January. We do one winter, summertime, and then in fall. And so it is a sticky subject when people don't like talking about revenue, when they don't like talking about sales. But that's what we're all in the business of, is fitness through sales. And so we hope, and what we incentivize is bringing in a higher quality of lead. And that's through that word of mouth sales through our current membership base. Yes, we want more people in the gym. Yes, we want a higher revenue, but we want a higher quality lead coming through our doors, because then our number of conversions and our retention rate is a lot higher through those leads than just Google searches or people checking the CrossFit main site for gyms near us. And so our goal is always increase revenue, but again, a higher quality of lead coming through the door.
That's awesome. That's a really good point. It's not just anyone that wants to try it, and then once the trial is up, they're gone, right? You want the people that are going to really buy in. They're going to be a fit for the community, and they're going to embrace this new, for many people, it's going to be a new style of training, right? When we're thinking about these referrals, it's usually people that, I think at least, that CrossFit might be their first exposure. And we're using the friend or the family member to get them over that, whatever the barrier was, that they wouldn't have found it on their own. Versus, oh yeah, I did CrossFit in every city I've ever lived. I just didn't know where to find one. And now my friend told me about this one. That person didn't need the friends and family week, right? That was going to happen eventually. So it's really those people that are harder to break through. Parker, yeah.
I had a question for Randy. On that Bring a Friend Week, do you have an issue with overcrowding of classes, or how do you manage that?
We don't. 5:30 a.m. is our busiest class, and we're usually running up on 30 people at 5:30 a.m. And when we get above 25, we usually bring in 2 coaches for that class, to have a main coach and then a backup coach. When we do Bring a Friend Week, we get heavy. We get 30 plus. We always ask for the member bringing in that friend or family to come at that time frame. So they're not just saying, hey, show up at 10 o'clock and don't go then, but have fun. We have them bring in their friend or family member, so they always have a battle buddy. We don't run into overcrowding. We program specific for Bring a Friend Week, so we're not doing snatch complexes during Bring a Friend Week. We do barbell, but we program accordingly. But it just creates a more in-depth and honestly a more fun opportunity to coach for bigger classes. We have a just over 5,000 square foot floor space, and we have a lot of room to bring in lots of people. Katie's been there, and we make it a good time, even though we are packed and busy.
The programming, because we do the Bring a Friend weeks as well, is definitely key for that. When we do Bring a Friend twice a year as well, and the programming is definitely set for people who have never CrossFit before or larger groups. We don't cap classes, but we would get classes of 25 to 30 people during the Bring a Friend week, and there is a lot of things that we just didn't program that week, still keeping the programming super challenging for the people who are members. But that week was definitely focused on movements that you could teach relatively quickly, and not quite as many complex movements that week. But I think that was the programming is absolutely crucial for a week like that.
Definitely.
And another follow-up to that then, do you guys use any special messaging in terms of encouraging your members to bring a friend? Because I know like we have people that are just passionate about this and they're desperate to bring their friends and family who just don't want to participate. They don't want to hear about CrossFit. They don't want to try it. And then they try it and they like it, but getting them through the door seems to be the hard part. Do you guys have anything that has worked for you in terms of kind of creating that compliance?
I offer my friend, the existing members, $100 during Bring a Friend Week, which I don't generally do. But if they bring a friend and they join, I give them $100. And to keep it from like necessarily discounting our membership and making it a little bit more fun, I literally hand them $100. And they love that, and that's kind of cool. So I normally don't offer like that much money, and I definitely don't usually offer the people joining a discount to come in because I don't like to discount my first month. But sometimes for Bring a Friend, I'll give the member $100, and then the person joining will get like a pair of sunglasses or a duffel bag or something fun like that.
Do
And
you
that's
put that
only
out in like a newsletter? Do you say it in front of the classes? Does it go on social?
Yeah, I mean, I don't put it on social media that much, but I do email blast it out a ton to the members. I make like postcards and I'm handing them out constantly to everybody. We have a sandwich board that has messages they have to walk by, and we have, the Wodify app, the first thing that it says when they open up, and we probably advertise it for like 6 weeks. I never let them bring the friend early. No, it has to be during that week. And we just make a huge deal about it. And so.
Yeah, we do a give 60, we do a get 60 and a give 60. So for our referral program, so anybody referring anybody, they get $60 and then they also get $60 to give to someone. We keep it a little lower than 100, and we've done 100 before, but we keep it a little lower just so that way we know we're net positive on both members, on the current member and then the new member when they do sign up with that discount. We don't like discounting either. We're with Zia. We don't like discounting because we don't want to devalue what we're offering. But at the same time, it's you get someone and you put $60 or $100 in their hands. It's an automatic incentive to bring people in. And like I said, it keeps that level of lead high, and we don't cap how many incentives. I mean, we could have one person and they could bring 8 people a month, and we would literally give them $60 for every person they bring in, and they'll be ahead with how much money they have just because they're continuously bringing in people.
Yeah, our last one, a lady brought in 4 people. I gave her $400.
Yeah.
So then, Randy, are you also just handing cash versus trying to do something on the back end and managing it in the software and the?
We don't do cash. We do it on the back end and just add it to as a credit on their account.
Okay.
Yeah.
I had a quick question just to make sure I'm clear. So even if the people don't join and they just show up to take a free class, you give them $100 or $60?
No, just if they join.
Only if they join.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Just want to make sure I was clear on that one.
So I do something. Oh, go ahead.
This year, the little duffel bag, like little cinch bags, if somebody brought somebody in, whether they joined or not, they got that. I think the bags cost me like $2, but to get the cash, they needed to actually join. But they got a little gift for for bringing somebody in, even if they joined or not.
You guys that are doing that, do you guys offer free trial classes like in general? So like if it wasn't Bring a Friend Week and somebody was like, hey, I have a friend that wants to try it out, do you allow them to come in and just like try a class out, or is it only during these 2 weeks?
I personally, if they've never CrossFit before, I don't let them I'll give them a free tour of the facility, and I'll sit down and talk to them, and I'll show them a class, but I won't necessarily let them try a class for free if they've never CrossFit before. If they've dropped in, and they just want to try us out, I'll generally let them, but that's not my regular practice.
Yeah, we do. We don't do free trials. We do consults, and we have a consult with either me or my wife, Chauncey, and then we throw in a consult with our nutrition coach as well. But I say this all the time. Grandma Lauer taught me one thing: if you're good at something, don't give it away for free.
Yeah.
So we usually never give away free trials, but we do let people drop in, and it's $20 for a drop in, and they can drop in whenever they want if it's not Bring a Friend Week or it is.
Jennifer, what were you going to say earlier?
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say what we do at our gym, and so ours is a monthly thing as opposed to 1 week. I like the idea of a week. I've tried moving around our Bring a Friend days. We've had the most success with Bring a Friend Day on Saturdays. It seems like that is more of a community building environment too, where we have typically a bigger showing of people coming out. If individuals are going to convince somebody to come and test it out, Saturday just has been more popular for us. So I've tried it on other days of the week, and now I've kind of settled into just doing it on Saturdays. So we
So
do
you
it
do a
once a
month
month.
of Saturdays, is that right?
No, just once a month. So every single
Once a
month we have a
month.
Bring a Friend Day, and it's advertised in our monthly newsletter. So all of our members know in advance what day that's going to be. And if for some reason they have somebody who they really want to bring and it doesn't work out that is the Saturday they can come or whatever, I ask them to reach out to me, and then we try and make arrangements for another appropriate day when the member and their friend or family member can come on a good time for them. Yeah. So that's something that we do. We also, so whoever shows up with a friend on the Saturday, they get a free fit aid for them and their friend or family member that they bring. And we kind of celebrate everybody at the end of that workout. And then those people who sign up to do the on-ramp following that, if they commit to the on-ramp and they've paid, then the member who referred them gets a $20 kickback on whatever membership type they are the following month. So that means that, yes, I have to go into the back end, but it's a very easy addendum to my invoice because 90% of my members are on long-term contracts. So everything's already there, and I just can go in. Basically, the moment they sign up for their on-ramp, I go find that member. I discount their next month's membership by 20%. And then, yeah, that's their kickback for
If that
bringing in somebody.
member brings in multiple, do they keep getting a new 20% on that same month? So if they
Yes,
brought
if they
four-
brought in 3 people and all 3 people signed up for on-ramps, they would get 60% off of that month, or they could take 20% for 3 months. I'd give them the option.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. And I've actually had, it's kind of cool, but I've had a couple of members who could have received the 20% discount, and instead they wanted to gift it to the new member. And so that's kind of cool too. And I allow that to happen because I'm like, okay, it's basically a gift for them to get started, because our initial buy-in is more expensive. Our first month is more expensive because they have to do the on-ramp first. And we do our on-ramps one-on-one.
Nice. There's definitely some it's not pushback, it's just differing opinions, because there's obviously a lot of ways to do this, about how a day might not be enough exposure. Not to argue, I'm just curious, anyone that does do this or has done it, how many days do you find before that new member that was brought in is hooked? Is it a 2-day thing? Do you ever get them signing up after the first class? Is it they come 5 days straight and only then do they, like, what do you guys see on average?
I mean, I think it's easy to get them to sign up after one day, as long as, it's how good are you at sales, right? Normally, if you are there after that first class and they had a great first class and they loved it, okay, let's get you signed up. When do you want to come in again? Let's fill out everything. It's getting them, right, while their endorphins are still high and they're having a great time, to sign up before they leave the building. So we do our Bring a Friend weeks twice a year, but we're still getting new members. Like, we have referral cards. When people join, I'm constantly handing them out. They're like, just bring a friend referral cards. When those people come in, we're still selling all year. So it's just a matter of, you can get them hooked after one class as long as you're there afterwards to sell it. I find that the longer you wait to follow up on that lead, the less likely they are they can push it off. Like, yeah, it was fun, but I don't know about the cost. Like, it's getting them right away. And it was actually Daniel Chaffee who nailed this into my head. Adam did that class with me, but that instantly talking to them has made a huge difference in conversion for sure.
Definitely. Chaffee's the man with that. Randy, same topic, I'm guessing, because your hand went up.
Yeah, I was just going to say that we've added new members after the first 45 minutes of a class. People have literally stopped and said, oh, we're in, we're hooked, signing up.
You're like, no, you have to do the workout. Get back out there.
Yeah, we've said that we'll sign you up and we'll take care of that, but you still get this week of Bring a Friend Week
That's cool.
to come and hang out. But for us, we found that at least for those people that are a little bit more difficult to convert, that 3-day is really the good, and it gives you an opportunity to meet the other coaches, to see the other people in the gym, to see the different days and types of programming. Even though we do programming specific for Bring a Friend Week, it still gives them a longer glimpse into what they're going to sign up for hopefully the rest of their life. So, and
I think that's a good point. And I think it's a good call out that, you know, again, there are going to be different things that work for different gyms and communities, but I have heard of or seen the recurring Saturday free attender because that's the only one that they can afford. And, you know, I've actually spoken with some owners where they're like, that's actually demographically where we are. We encourage that. We realize that we have a sliding scale membership, sure, but we can't create a membership where this person will ever be able to afford us. And so what we do is, you know, after X amount of free Saturdays, we have a discussion with them and they pay a $10. They can't even pay the 20 or 25 or whatever their drop-in rate is. And that's the way they get away with this sliding scale of allowing someone that really doesn't have the income to join as a member. And I'm not going to create a discounted membership. So they have that 1 day a week where they kind of catch them. And it's, again, like you had talked about, we want those high quality members, but I have talked to people where they're like, this is my community, this is where I live, and I'm proud that I offer that. So I do see how there can be a place for it, but you have to know what you're offering and what you're getting yourself into when it is on that recurring basis. So that's one way to have it going down year round, is just having like a day where this is the Bring a Friend Day. Zia said she always has cards that you're handing out to existing members, unrelated to friends and family. Okay. And so what is the incentive built into that card, if there is one, or if it's more of like, you just talk about CrossFit a lot here, bring this card with you?
This one's just $50 to the member that refers it, nothing for the friend. I only do stuff like big stuff, and it's only $50. But to put that into, my membership is $225, so $50 isn't, you know, it's a smaller amount. It's not the 100 that I do on the big Bring a Friend, but it makes the Bring a Friend week more special. And then the referring member also gets to give something to the, you know, the friend they brought in. So my day to day is just the $50.
Is there a limit on the referral cards during the year?
No, there's not. I want people to bring in friends like them. And that's literally what it says. We're looking for more, you know, we want more members like you. Yeah. And I hand out a stack of these in their welcome packet that they get when they join. They're sitting all over the gym. And sometimes when I'm hanging out, I'll just pass them out to people, always like, and then when somebody comes in or reaches out to me, actually, I just got a lead from CrossFit.com saying they're moving to the area. And I get a lot of them, actually. I've had like 5. And they came in for a tour, and then they have CrossFit before. So I offered them a class, and I handed them a couple of cards and I said, bring someone with you. And they brought someone with them. So I got 2 members, and I just like the tours, I give these out. Well, bring a friend. Trying CrossFit for the first time is less scary when you bring a friend. And that's actually been surprisingly useful, that when someone's trying it out, especially for the first time, and a lot of times if they've never CrossFit, again, they're doing like a private 101, like tester of CrossFit. They're not jumping into our classes. They're too big. But if they bring a friend, it's way less scary and they have a lot more fun. So I found that is the best time to give those cards out, is when somebody's trying it for the first time.
I've also talked to an owner where those cards came in huge handy when they had a member that was struggling to afford, you know, some life circumstances changed. They were really having a hard time paying their membership, but they were in love with CrossFit, in love with the gym, and they were asking for some help. And they were like, basically, we have this program. And this member, he said, I can't believe this guy. He's brought me 10 leads over the last 2 that signed up over the last 2 months. He's like, he's literally paying his membership away by using the referral program that I set up. And so he can continue to CrossFit by, you know, following the rules, because he also didn't limit how many. And he's like, I'm getting so many members from this guy. He hustles like crazy. He's bringing in his coworkers, he's bringing in his friends and neighbors. And I love that you have that for someone that comes to you in a jam, obviously you have to be tactful about it and be like, well, just bring me more people and you can stay, obviously. But if you have it as a constant dialogue, it's in your newsletters, the cards are all over the gym, it will occur to people right away that if they can't, you know, if it's starting to get tight, this is a really good way to, you know, offset some of that cost. We get regular leads from .com. That's great. I know
I think
some
the key to the
done, and I understand that it's not all fair and equal yet, but at least it's
Well,
starting to trend in the right direction.
the key to the .com leads are updating that page so it looks good. Leaving it the way it is, you get lost in the masses. But if you update your page and it looks really good, I think that, I mean, it's obviously, you know, if there's more than one in your area. Mine, it's easy. I'm the only one in Encinitas. But like when you're pulling up like a big city and there's 6 or 7 that come up, that page is crucial.
You want yours to stand out, yeah. Very cool. Okay, let's see what else.
I have something similar to Zia's, but I don't know if it's I had like these like they're like plastic, almost like credit cards.
Yeah.
And instead of saying like bring a friend, it says $50 gift card, and it's to and from. And essentially I just give this to any member that's like, oh, I have a friend that might want to join. And it pretty much says $50 off their first month of a new member. So it doesn't really, you know, doesn't really cost me anything. And if I could pay $50 to get a member in the door, I would do it 100 times. So it's like
That's
similar,
actually a really cool idea.
but instead of it, like, you know, just it says gift card on it. So it's
Yeah,
like seems
that's
a little
awesome.
more like
More valuable. It has more value.
When it says
like that.
from your member, right? Your member is the
Yeah.
one that's getting it. Do you
Yeah,
does
so
your member get anything or?
no,
Okay, that's fine.
but
I mean, they still feel like they're giving a gift of 50.
yeah,
Yeah, totally. I was just curious.
That's a really
We
good idea. I like that.
while, you know, real quick, while we were on talking about Daniel Chaffee, another cool thing that he did at our thing was he had this like really nice Yeti, and he's like, oh, do you like this? And I was like, oh yeah, it's cool, like super cool. It's like custom branded with his gym, and he's like, you can't buy these, and I was like, okay, like go on, and he's like, these are only for people who bring in a member. So I literally took a page out of his book, and I had these custom built Yetis. Oops, did I lose you guys?
No,
No.
thank you.
So I have these hanging here now. They say like free, bring us a friend, and it's yours. And they're these like custom branded Yetis. Just hang, and they're like hanging over the gym, and I have them on the whiteboard. And so all the members see a constant reminder that they get a free, like really nice Yeti if they bring a member. And those are for the members that bring somebody, not for the people coming in.
I love that.
And like we had a bunch of people like,
More
hey, I want to buy.
advertising.
I want to buy one, and I was like, oh, you can't buy these. Like, you just got to bring me a friend to have them join. And we bought 10 Yetis, and we have like 3 left. So, and that was like within like a month, we had like 7 people join, or like, you know, family members, wives. But it worked really well.
That's awesome. I love it. Oh, good. You're gonna go see Daniel.
You're gonna love it. He's the best.
I've heard so many good things. If anyone has any more ads of positives or different ways of doing things or questions, I was gonna also, if not, I was also gonna say we can move into either if anyone has any tips for things they've found that worked really well, definitely, or common pitfalls to avoid. I know we talked a little bit about like being careful about discounting the memberships of the new member. I know we said a little bit about that, but I don't know if there's other common pitfalls you found. Is there, you know, traps that on the back end that you don't want to do it this way? You know, it's easy unless you do it this way. Yeah, Zia.
Common pitfalls, and I see this all the time with gyms that I work with. They need an influx of members, and so not necessarily through the referrals, because I think that's very localized and giving a little bit there. I don't necessarily see first month $1 or half off your first month, or these I'm going to devalue my product to get you in the door and then try to convince you within that month that the product is actually worth more. Never, 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 ever discount your membership in an advertisement, or like,
Well, I see
if you don't
websites,
think,
red slashes and new prices, and I'm like,
I can always tell when a gym is about to be in trouble or already in trouble and going to close, because months before you start to see first month $50, this, or like, or we now accept class pass or something like that. Those Those are setting the standard that to your future members that, well, our product is worth this, but now we're going to ask you to pay this. And that is not the client that you want anyway. The client that's looking for a deal is always going to look for a deal. Or they can't afford your membership, so they're only going to use you for a month anyway. And then you don't want them there anyway. It's harsh, but it's true. They can only afford $50 and your membership's $225. They're not going to sign up for that second month anyway. You need, if your membership's $225, you need them spending $300. So you need to incentivize them in the door in a different way, because when they get there, that's the biggest problem that I see is people's attrition rates start going badly because they're getting these members that are just bargain hopping. And especially, I mean, I'm sure Adam knows that in San Diego, it's very flooded. They could probably do a different fitness studio doing a sale for 12 months straight and never actually commit to anything. Those members you don't want, because those members aren't your members. They're not going to stay. They're just going to go from fitness facility to fitness facility for pennies on the dollar.
Randy.
I was going to add, have an idea or have a plan for what you're going to do with the influx of new members that come from referral type programs, especially something like Bring a Friend Week, where we plan, hope for no less than 30% conversion. So that could be a bunch of, 12 new people coming in that next month. Once they finish their onboarding program with a couple of us that do a lot of the onboarding coaching, personal training, have an idea, and we use ambassador. We have an ambassador program where we have existing members that we then hook our new members up with, and they're their battle buddy for the first 3 classes of that new member. So, and once our retention rate jumped by like 60% once we included an ambassador program. The one thing that we were seeing before that was those new members coming in, they were getting hooked to the hip of either Chos or me or one of our other coaches.
Never took them through onboarding.
Yeah, and if they couldn't hit our classes that we regularly coach, then they would drop off because they were used to us. Having that ambassador program with current members just helps create more immediate buy-in for those new members coming into a new workout routine and a new community.
That's great. I've seen a lot more people posting about ambassador programs and talking about it. I've never been a part of a gym that does it, but I love it. It's a great idea. Anyone else do that at their gym or curious about it? You guys do it, Adam?
Do you guys incentivize the ambassadors at all?
We do. We have a discount in our pro shop. So they get a discount on supplements, a 20% discount on supplements, 20% discount. And that includes drinks and protein bars, shirts, socks, all that stuff. They get a discount for that. They get a first to know status. So a lot of them like this, whenever we start a new program or start a new lifting cycle, or they get first to know on our events that are coming up and new partnerships that we have and all that kind of stuff. They love that part. They love that part more than they do 20% off on protein. So they get that as an incentive, and they get a free shirt.
It says ambassador.
Yeah.
Ours, I get them like a nice Fiore with like a leather patch with counterculture, and they get a discount on supplements.
I've also heard of they do like a maybe it's quarterly, maybe it's twice a year that the owner of the affiliate like has an ambassador dinner and either treats them or brings them over to their house, and it's kind of like a little hangout, a little chat. Not so much like, oh, we got to talk about this program, but more of just like a little treat for them and little stuff like that. I love that. I love hearing that really helps with retention. It makes sense, of course, to have that person. So yeah, having those programs in place ahead of time, right? So establish your ambassador program enough in advance that they're prepared and they know what to do, and that they're going to have potentially multiple buddies coming in quick, coming in hot. Your onboarding needs to be prepared for an influx. If you are the only one that does onboarding, that could be a huge problem when you get a jump in members. I know that was another call we were gonna have, maybe they just did one, it didn't get recorded, something happened on the Northeast handle. They did onboarding discussion, so I was talking about different topics we could cover, and that might be one that we dig into on another one, but if that's not a formalized situation at your gym, definitely having that dialed in. What else, guys? What other questions do you have? What are you curious about? All right, well, I feel like I took a ton of notes. I got a lot of really great ideas. I love the cards. I love the branded merch. Obviously, we have like, is the Yeti discount still in the partner network? Because if not, there is a discount.
That was never on the partner network.
never
That
the
was
partner
just
network.
for you guys, the HQ people.
I'll get you the discount. No, you know what they have in there, which is awesome. I haven't used one yet, but everyone's raving about them, are the shaker bottles that are like, what are they? Are they called? They're like super cold shaker bottles or something.
They were on Shark Tank. I
Ice
don't remember what
shaker?
they were
Yeah.
called, but they
They're
were
called
on
ice
Shark
shaker.
Tank. If
Those
you have an
actually-
ID me, Yeti will give you 25% off.
Nice.
The,
Yeah, no,
if
those
you're-
ice shakers are supposedly just as cool, and you can brand those as well. And
If you're
Yeti,
sorry,
sorry,
I was
go ahead.
gonna say if you're a member of HSN, you get a Yeti discount.
ice barrel, no, that's the barrel.
If you want
Ice
to order
shaker.
like what Adam's doing with his, if you order, like email Yeti wholesale department, if you order 12 or more, the more you order, the cheaper they get. So there is a wholesale program for custom Yetis too.
Yeah, ice shaker offers 40% off of 10 bottles. So obviously you'd probably be ordering more than that, but
Yeah, the Yeti discount is just for you guys.
whoops. Well, maybe it'll eventually go to you guys, because that would be awesome. Anyone have any other questions about year round? Any, like, we talked a lot about the friends and family. Anyone else struggling when it's not that week about how to get more people, or how to have your trainers more comfortable talking about it? Or if you're like, I don't really put it on them, I just put it in the newsletter. Does anyone do anything specifically on social, like either videos or sort of mini interviews with members, or have members record themselves talking about the gym? I've heard a lot of like that, or the highly produced media is not really what gets someone to stop scrolling, but rather that, selfie vid of someone walking in and being like, I love my gym and here's my trainer and I can't wait, and like CrossFit's the best out, and and they post that and that comes up on someone's feed. Like, does anyone ever do that kind of stuff with their members, or is that easier said than done?
Sometimes I'll do like a bingo game with the members. It's like a virtual bingo, and they'll have to, like, while wearing a CrossFit shirt, be doing, certain things, and it has to be posted on social media, and we have to be tagged, and then they can get bingo. And we'll do that during like the summer, and that will track like free revenue through Instagram and hits and stuff. But being in San Diego, I don't pay for any advertising on Instagram because it's just, there's too much. I mean, Orange Theory spends $10,000 a month on social media, and I wouldn't even make a dent. So I just go through my members making posts, and those are the ones that get seen by their friends and family.
Yeah,
I don't know about the marketing. I wouldn't want to recommend to or not, because I know some people, but I completely agree with that. It just feels like you're going to be washed out. But again, I know some people maybe have a lot of success with Facebook
I
marketing.
think it matters where.
Yeah. I just
think
feel like
it's
I still
that-
talk to a lot of people in different cities, and some of them swear by it and others won't touch it. And it's not my background, so I don't know that I'd gravitate towards it. And I hate social media, but I like the idea of someone posting about it organically. So the real question is like, how do you encourage organic, when that's almost like a oxymoron? Like, I want to ask people to organically post about us. The bingo game's a fun idea.
Yeah, I do that like twice a year.
Seasonal,
yeah,
yeah.
the biggest and
Right.
easiest low-hanging fruit is when we post social media, we tag, if we have
Tag
clients in the pictures, we tag them in the reels, we tag them in the videos, so then they can share it, and we get We get a lot of leads and referrals just based off people sharing it and then saying, where do you go? What
Yeah.
are you doing? It looks so fun. I hate Orange Theory. And then they'll message us or they'll forward them on to us. We've had so much success with just tagging and then having them shared on their social medias. We never have done, not never, but we haven't done a social media paid ad in years. And we decided at the beginning to just invest in Google SEO. And so we've really been able to bank and market just based off of the geofence we put around the gym a long time ago. And so we're still organically through that.
Awesome. Adam.
For the social media stuff, like it pairs well with the open, but we do an intramural open, and part of the points for the team is to post on social, and it's usually like a really usually people are posting like a really fun experience like during the open, and so that definitely generates a lot of hype. And we've had a lot of people come in and like, hey, like what is this open thing, and kind of want to learn about it, and like that's a way that we get our members to easily post and make points for their team.
That's super smart and organic, right? I like that.
Program specific. I do a lot of PTA advertising for our kids class through PTA, and that's super successful for the kids. And then my master's class, I put an ad in the newspaper because old people read the newspaper, and that is very successful.
Yeah, it's on the kids front. I know in our area, I don't know how big it is where everyone else is, but a lot of posts go out on like it's called Peach Jar, and a lot of different like kids programs post on there because it's looked at by teachers, it's looked at by volunteers, it's looked at by parents on a regular basis. But there's different, just look in your district and whatever people regularly post on, or like you said, go directly to the PTA or the district and you can get that stuff out there. Sometimes the I think that I haven't looked into it, but our community has a huge what do you call it, like rec center thing, and private companies, it doesn't have to be run by the city, but private companies can sell their whatever fitness program or sports training or whatever it is through the rec center newsletter that gets sent out every quarter, every season. And so I would be curious if a CrossFit Kids could ever, you might have to pay different and just be an ad and you wouldn't be able to be a listed class. But if you do have those specialty programs, getting into the places where those people go look would be huge. That's great. One thing someone said, oh yeah, go ahead, Randy.
I was just going to bring up something really, and it's kind of related, but we just were, not just last month or 2 months ago, we've been looking for grants. And so we were awarded a grant through Comcast. It was a $5,000 cash grant plus $15,000 for marketing. And it comes with, anyways, look in your area. I know in California and Oregon, there is a shit ton of free money, right? Where if you're a Comcast subscriber, you're paying for these grants, but free money that's just out there for small businesses. So if you have if you have an admin, or if you have time to just get on in your local area and look for grants specific to your area and your county and in your city and state, do it, because there is a shit ton of money out there just waiting for small businesses to ask for. And the process isn't very difficult. My wife, she was able to apply for it because it was a specific grant for women-owned small businesses.
Yeah. So you sometimes have to be really not sneaky, underhanded, but just you have to really be ready to approach it from several different angles, right? To find.
And it was a minority-owned business. So being Hispanic, we qualified on both fronts. So there's all kinds of different things. You don't have to be Hispanic. You don't have to be a woman. There's all kinds of free money out there. So
veteran, all sorts of different ones. I know there's an affiliate down in Central California where they went to the district. He really wanted to get in and start working in the high school. And he went to talk to the district and was offering so many different ways to get in. And they wanted his business in the school, but they also didn't just have cash for CrossFit, right? And so he had to get really creative. I shouldn't say sneaky. about how he was getting this, same thing. It was essentially their money, the district's money. And they're like, look, it's sitting right here, but there's only certain things we can allocate for it. And we can't tell you what that is. What do you offer? And he's like, well, I'd like to come and do a CrossFit Kids program. We don't have money for that. Okay. I'd like to come in and do strength and conditioning class. Nope. We don't have money for that. And they were like, they were hoping he would get it. And he was like, I can do a wellness program. I went in, then he finally said nutrition, and they were like, bingo. Here's 50 grand for the year, and your office is the weight room, and you can have the kids come in, and what do? They do CrossFit. And what do they talk about in the warm up and the cool down? Nutrition. And that is, I don't know that it's called a nutrition class, but the funding goes to a nutrition program at this school. And that's essentially like a salary for him. And then he owns the gym, and he goes to the school for 2 or 3 hours a day in the middle of the day when most affiliates are kind of in a quieter time. I think it's like from 1 to 3 or something. And so I was like, I want this like to be something we can all replicate it for anyone that's interested in getting into school district. It just seems like the money is sitting there unused. We've all paid it in with our taxes, and your small business could be helping those kids. And then when they graduate, they could become your trainers, your members, who knows? So I think
Anybody in California, I get grants for independent study PE.
that's right. Yeah.
So you just got to register. And then if you do that, that's where the payroll conversation comes up. You got to be on it with like all of the rules for the state. Like you better have background checks for all of your coaches. You better not have random people working out near those kids unless you know who the sex offenders are, like stuff like that. But as long as you can handle that, there's a lot of money in the state of California for offering independent study PE.
That's awesome. One thing someone had said that made me kind of write this down was like, what about, I think it was talking about, we don't pay for advertising, we pay for Google SEO. What about like, how do you guys go about getting more Google reviews? I think that kind of goes hand in hand with referrals in a way. I know some people get, there's like the little placard right at the front of the gym, and people can scan the QR code. Is there any other ways you guys are updating and constantly asking for those from your members, or best practices for that?
You're talking about like for review, if you say for reviews
Just
and stuff like
kidding. Yeah,
reviews?
like I know that it can help to have a lot of 5-star reviews, and
Yeah,
your
ours,
members are likely happy to do that, or a drop in. Or do you have does anyone have best practices? Like every drop in, we make sure to ask them, we have them do it right in front of us, or I mean, everyone's got different vibes on that, but I'm just curious if who pushes reviews and how do you do it?
Adam's got great reviews.
we
Nice.
our CRM is programmed once somebody becomes an active member at the 3-month mark, it automatically shoots them a text message and says like, hey, we need a favor from you, check your email. And then in that email, there's also an email that sends out at the exact same moment. It says like, we've been working really hard to like build a reputation. If you don't mind leaving us a review, and it has a link to Yelp, Google, and Facebook on there. And the text message seems like it's legitimately coming from me, not like that it's automated. So people are like, oh shit, like, yeah, like let me do this. And we have like 140, 150 5-star reviews on like every platform.
Good for you. That's rad. Yeah, Randy.
We've been actually pushing reviews, and we do the messaging on our CRM too, but I've noticed that we don't really get people clicking that link very much. So what's worked really well is just personally asking. So I've done a lot of it where I message them, and I make it's not like an automated message, but I make it a little bit more personal and ask them like, hey, would you be willing to leave a review, and then put the link there so it's easy for them to go and do that. And that's worked really well. And then we did that with just our different coaches or like team members, asking people either through messaging or through when they're in class. And it was kind of cool to see how many different people have, I might have asked that person 3 times, but then they connect with somebody, or they need to hear it 5 times, and then they finally leave that review. And so just
Like
asking,
parallel just takes the
yeah,
right to ask.
yeah, they just need the reminders a lot. And sometimes they're like, oh yeah, I would love to leave a review, but then you need to kind of keep asking them a couple times.
Yeah, Randy.
So I think the last 2 weeks we did a challenge with our leadership team, I think we had like 5 people asking reviews, and we got 30 in 1 week just through, we have several locations, but that was like very little effort to just go and talk to people for a couple minutes.
Yeah, we do all of our CRM in-house, and we follow a pretty strict 180-day journey. And we have metrics set up on different target dates for each individual person. And on that 3-month mark, we send them a reminder to, on that 90-day mark, we send them a reminder to do a Google review. And then we send it again on the end of that 180-day journey. But then we have little placards all around the gym and stuff in our athlete lounge and in our front space and our pro shop where people can, if they see it, they can do it. Other than that, we just do it through our CRM process and make sure that we ask for those. I will say, don't run. I made the mistake of running for public office last year, and we got like 10 1-star reviews saying that I was going to kill everybody and my wife is psycho and that she pulled a gun on someone in class and all this crazy shit. So if you are going to do something, try not to also run for public office at the same time and piss your opponent's team off, because then they'll leave you a bunch of negative reviews. It's pretty funny. If you go back in and look at our Google review, you'll see like a couple 1-stars, and it's just insane shit that they
right after the election.
Yeah, it was awesome.
With that, I learned a long time ago from somebody, ask for a 5-star review. Don't just ask for a review. Ask for a 5-star review.
Will you give us a 5-star review?
Oh, just like, hey, we'd love to get a 5-star review. And they'll give you the review they want. But I learned, I think it was from Jordan Holland, ask for a 5-star review. At like the very first like SoCal affiliate
that sounds
gathering,
like
that was like
Jordan Holland thing to say.
5 years ago or something. It was like, ask for the review you want. They'll give you the review they think you deserve, but put the number in their head already.
That's great. Well, I want to be respectful of everyone's time. We're coming up on an hour. If anyone has any last questions, I know it's nice to be able to be face-to-face with affiliate owners and pick their brain and share ideas. So I don't want to cut anyone off.
I just want to say thank you for putting this on. It's been nice to like get back into a roundtable and connect with other gym owners, especially about like a great topic like this, but just in general, like just be reconnected. So thank you.
Absolutely. I agree. I put it in every newsletter, and I think newsletters are tough to comb through because there's a lot of stuff, but you guys can, a lot of you by now have my cell number, and some of you text me Sunday nights, and I still love you. It's all good. But you guys can email me, you can text me if you have ideas. It can be anonymous. I don't have to say this was Adam said we need to put on this call, and everyone's like, why did you? Just tell me what you want to talk about, and I will put on a call. We can do multiple calls a month. We can do whatever topics sound good. You don't have to be participating. If you can't make the time, you can listen to it later. But yeah, if there's something that's, you wish you could ask other affiliate owners this question and how they do it, let's get a call together. Let's do a lot of these. That's my hope for the next year. But you guys it's my pleasure. I really appreciate everyone contributing and hearing all of your perspectives. So thank you all. See all you thanking me in the chat. Thank you. Thank you guys.